What's the manliest thing you've ever done? Saw a car crash happen right in front of us on the interstate. Guy pinned between the dash and the guardrail, was getting crushed. 5 or 6 of us lifted the car off of him and held it for 5 minutes or so until the fire rescue guys could secure it. Other guys would step in during the 5 minutes as guys got tired. Edit. Here's a link to the article, in case anyone is interested. My wife lost her phone. I tracked it down with the app. Walked into the convenience store it was in and asked the guy at the counter. He had no idea what I was talking about. I pinged it, and walked in the back room where the noise came from. I put my hand in the jacket pocket hanging on a hook. I held it up and said thanks for finding my phone and walked out. BTW, my wife did not lose it in that store. She lost it about 2 miles away from there. So he found it and took it there. It was the Find My iPhone app. For those asking. Saved my brother from drowning in the ocean in Alaskan winter. He collapsed in the water, and almost got hypothermia. I pulled him to shore, and he started seizing and groaning. I carried him to the nearest shower, and put him in warm water and slowly heated up the water over time. He later gained consciousness and thanked me. I could feel the adrenaline rushing through my veins while I carried him. That was the scariest moment of my life. Thankfully, a nearby newly wedded groom and bride saw the event, and allowed us into their Airbnb. I'm a high school teacher. I helped a group of boys tie their ties for graduation. Raised my son by myself with no help from his mother. He's a lawyer and my proudest accomplishment. Saved a little girl from drowning after she was pulled out by a rip current. The lifeguards got mad and her parents never thanked me. Jumped in front of a bus to push my dumb drunk friend out of the way. He never stops saying sorry about it. Should add neither of us were injured, it just about missed my feet as I dived into him. Got struck by lightning then went to work. Also one of the dumbest things I have ever done. Admitted I had a problem and sought help for my PTSD. Stood up to a freaking Canadian goose on the golf course that charged at me. I was peeing once and a fly flew into my stream and I peed it right into the toilet. Helped an old lady who had fallen on the sidewalk. An older woman was in line ahead of me struggling to pay for her groceries. She was counting out a bunch of change while she left her purse in her cart. It wasn't much, so I slipped in $40 when she wasn't looking and she found it when she went back in the purse and used the money to buy her stuff. Truth is, I didn't do that for a thank you or recorded it for internet cred. It wasn't about what was right or wrong or even being nice. I just wanted her to hurry up so I can check out and leave. Pulled 6 people out of a burning home in just a pair of gym shorts. I was on the show NY Inc. for what was supposed to be a hero episode. Had to go back in and get oxygen tanks to give to an older woman. I volunteered to get rid of the 2 spiders in my girlfriend's bedroom. After successfully doing so, I got laid within the hour. Tying an elderly woman's shoe so that she wouldn't trip. That elderly woman used to be my grade 6 teacher. Gave my combative and delirious father sedatives to help ease his pain, anxiety before he passed away. Then I helped the nurse wash him before the funeral home took him. I was 20 and studying to be a nurse. Edit. So many kind and thoughtful comments. Thank you everyone, and thank you to everyone who shared their own personal experiences caring for a loved one at the end of their life. Sending love. I asked out my crush and got rejected. Well, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I once played on the Wii without using the safety strap. Had a Frozen cosplay tea party with my niece. Changed someone's flat tire and proceeded to sleep with them. Encountered a sick drug user at a doctor office threatening staff. Stood into him and took him outside. We chatted for about 20 minutes. While he settled down and was ready for his APPT. I once roared at a mountain lion that was on my friend's property. It started at me for a second, then turned around and merged back into the night. I count it as a win. Saved a guy from drowning, saved a girl from sliding under a school bus when she slipped on ice. I was under 18 when both happened. I'm 40 now and my wife has met both people without me. They recognized my last name and told her the stories. Once I made my bed. It only took 10 minutes. Chased down a large man who robbed 2 people at a football game. Took him down, took his back, and subdued him until police arrived. I then took off immediately because I didn't want to have to do a police report. I used to let my daughter paint my nails when she was a toddler. She liked using a different color for each nail. For reference, I was a factory ironworker at the time. To the credit of all the rough, tough motherfuckers I worked with, not a single one ever gave me shit about it. I have gotten up and gone to work almost every day for over 30 years, to make sure my family has everything they need and most of what they want. Manliest thing I have ever seen in my life was my mom. When I was 6 or 7, in the late 80s, a disturbed woman at a park grabbed me by the neck and lifted me off the ground. Over her shoulder I saw my 5'4" mother clear a park bench like an Olympic athlete jumping a hurdle. She grabbed me from this woman, calmly set me on the ground, then turned to this woman and said, "You need to leave now or I will kill you where you stand." She left. I got ice cream. I had never seen my mother like that before or since. I couldn't really appreciate it until I was older, especially now that I have my own kids. I once dressed as a woman for a Halloween party. When I got out of my car at the party, a cop drove by. He backed up, rolled down his window, and said, "You're the ugliest woman I've ever seen," and drove away. I think his was wrong. Walk out of the water after falling on some rocks and fucking up my leg and patiently help my older sister calm down, while she was crying because I had hurt myself, so that she could go get an adult and bring me to the hospital. I was 13 and already thinking straight in a crisis. I'm pretty proud of it. Not so proud of being a dumbass and getting hurt that way. Rode my Harley across town wearing a Dora the Explorer backpack to deliver to my granddaughter. Not to brag, but once I stepped on a Lego and didn't react. My stepson's family was on the streets without a home. I took $130,000 out of my 401 Kelvins and bought a home for them. They've been good about the repayment so far for over 2 years. My grandchildren will not be homeless. Had a beer fart clear out a car full of people with one getting physically sick. Overheard my drunk friend trying to get my girlfriend to flash him. Groggily got out of bed, punched him in the chest, put her over my shoulder, and carried her back to bed. All without saying a word. We're all still friends. She's also now my wife. She was super turned on by it. I just wanted to go to bed and get her out of the situation. Saved a drowning puppy in the ocean at Pismo Beach 1 year. Gave hungry homeless man my food and happily had sleep for dinner. In one day, I had demolished a wall for an odd job, won gold in my division for a jiu-jitsu tournament, cooked myself a steak medium rare, played a show with my metal band, and told my girlfriend I loved her. Life is good. Resigned my job and took a year off after my son was born. It's the very best year of my life. So far. Raised my 4 kids. Climbed a 14,000 feet mountain on LSD. I'd say it was talking mine and my team's way out of a cartel's dominated area without a scratch on any of us. Having weapons shoved up my face and still keeping any semblance of composure wasn't exactly easy. I admit that I almost shat myself after the fact. As a widower, I'm raising my daughter. Someone was once pissing me off with their behavior online. And I just ignored it, because I realized that arguing with strangers online leads nowhere, except frustration. Dry shaved, then had a bowl of cereal without milk. A quote from a movie I saw a long time ago, don't remember the title but I remember this scene well. Dad decides to have the sex talk with his son. Dad asks, "What do you know about sex?" Son answers, "Stick your thing in a girl." 9 months later a baby comes out. Dad says, "That's most of it. Just one more thing any idiot with a dick can make a kid. It takes a real man to be a father. My kid turns 14 next week. I take pride in being a father. I am a woman, and I lived with another woman as a roommate. She had bought new chairs for our house but couldn't assemble them because, she said, her boyfriend couldn't come over to do it until the weekend. So I assembled them myself. She was shocked. Helped raise a kid who is not my own. Heart. According to my girlfriend, it's either building my own motorcycles or being okay with letting my daughter do my nails and makeup. I folded a fitted sheet into a square.